Hey guys, this is going to be a quick tutorial around Google Documents. This is going to be a bigger video that's going to include multiple components that you can access if you look down below in this video. You may have to click on a Show More button, but you'll see like a table of contents for this video. You can jump to whatever section of this video that you would like to learn or see, and it will jump you to that part of the video. So it's like a table of contents in a Google document. It's really convenient. So this specific video is going to be pretty much everything I have to offer you on Google Documents. And to start off, we're going to jump into a quick overview of the toolbar in a Google document and what all these little symbols and gadgets mean and do. I won't go into detail on some of the more complex items like inserting a table of content, the drawing function, things like that. Those will have their own specific section. You can find them down in the table of contents below, where I'll elaborate on those individually. I'll do a brief description of these things as we come across them. So to start, here's a quick overview of the different functionalities of a Google document. So if we start over in the left, you'll see a little picture of a printer. That's pretty obviously the print button. You click that if you want to print the document. Another option for printing is you can hit, if you're on a Mac, you can hit the Command P button. The Command button is to the right and left of the space bar. You can hit either one. There's two of them. So you can hit Command P, and that's a shortcut for printing. So that little symbol next to the P that you see after the word print in parentheses, there's a symbol P. That symbol, you can see it on the command button on your laptop. So that's what that stands for. The next two buttons, again, have shortcuts. A lot of people already know these shortcuts, but just for clarity's sake, this is the undo button. So Command Z will undo your previous action, and Command Y will redo your previous action, or you can come up here and hit these buttons. This next tool is an interesting one that I don't think a lot of people know about. And so what this tool will do is it will copy the format of the text that you highlight. So it won't copy the actual text, but it will copy the format. So it will copy things like whether or not it's a header or normal text. It'll copy things like whether or not it's bolded or underlined or italicized, what size it is. It'll copy that information. And so like, for example, in this top row, I have bolded and underlined this text. If I come up here and I hit the Paint Format button, and then I come over here and I highlight the text that I want to have formatted, you can see it changed itself. It increased to size 14. It bolded the text and it underlined it, but it didn't change the text. So that's a nifty little way if you have a document that needs to be reformatted in that sense, that you can go through and you can quickly format things the way you want. If you have a repeated format that's going to be showing up over and over throughout your document. So the next little button is your zoom function. You can click the little down arrow next to the 100% and you can pick a predefined percent. You can click the fit button and it'll fit it to your screen. Or you can actually click on the number itself, the 100%, and you can enter in whatever percentage it is that you would like to do. That button should come in handy. You can also use the zoom function of your browser, which doesn't affect the percentage up there because it's using your browser's zoom. So you can hold down the command button and hit the plus or minus button, which would be right to the left of the delete key on your keyboard. So if you hit the plus button, it'll increase your browsers. You can see up here in the top right corner as I do that, the browser's view percentage is changing. Okay. The next section right here is called styles. You'll see it naturally comes up and says normal text. And we will be going into these as we talk about table of contents. I'm not going to go into great detail on what all of these things do, but they have a lot to do with table of contents and organizing your table of contents. And we'll talk more about that in that section. So if you're interested in that, you can click on table of contents down below and jump right to the table of contents section. This next box, it typically starts as Arial for me. Just simply the different fonts that you have available for you in a Google document. And the box next to it is the font size. So it has some predefined font sizes. You can also click the number and enter your own font sizes. So these next 4 boxes we should all also be pretty familiar with at this point if you've been word processing for a while. Bold is B, I is italicized, the U with the underline under it is underline. And again, if you look, as I hover over these, the B says bold, and then in parentheses, it's showing you what the shortcut is. If there's a shortcut, it'll show it to you there. If you hold down Command and hit B, it'll bold whatever is highlighted. If you hold down Command and hit I, it'll italicize it. If you hold down Command and hit U, it'll underline it. So I can come up to this text here, I can highlight it, we can bold it, underline it, italicize it, all from the keyboard. The next box actually has 2 functionalities to it. Even though it says text color, it also is where you go to highlight text. So it can change the color of your text, but it can also highlight your text. Once you click on the little down arrow, you'll see the 2 options appear. And you can have all these different text colors to choose from. If you don't like any of them, you can go to custom and you can pick one from this little grid here. To highlight, you just click on highlight, and again, it's the same thing. You're picking the color that you want. If you don't want to highlight to your text, you just hit none. So this is what a highlight would look like. If I wanted to highlight it green, the background of the text will turn green. I like to use this functionality when I'm making notes and I have a header for a section or for a topic. I'd like to use a light yellow just to kind of let the header stick out, so that way people can sift down through my notes and just look for the big yellow headers to figure out what we talked about in that meeting. You do want to make sure that you pay attention when you come up here. So you can see that the A in this box is highlighted, so that means currently the highlight function is turned on. If I click on the text function, I can choose the color of my text. And so you can see that box shows you what functions are turned on. So you can see that I have a yellow highlight for my text with a red font color. So that'll let you know kind of what setting is currently on. So I want a black font, so I went to text and hit black, and I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to hit none to get it back to the default. Okay. So this next little thing, it looks like a chain link, and you can the shortcut for it is Command K. And basically this stands for, as it says there, insert a link. So if you're looking to insert some sort of hyperlink, a bookmark link, this is the place to do it. We're going to talk more about that during the section on table of contents and during the section on bookmarking. We'll go all over linking. I can show you real quick if you want to link a website, and that's a great thing about Google Docs, because to access Google Docs, you got to be online. So you can put live hyperlinks in, and they work smooth as butter. So I can come over here. I can copy a website link. Okay. Then I'm going to highlight the text that I want to be my link. Okay. So I'm going to write the word link. I'm going to highlight it. You don't have to use the word link. You can use any text you want. You just have to highlight that text. You come up and hit the chain link. And you can see that the text that you highlighted is going to be up here where it says text. And then you can, down where it says link, you just paste the website that you wanted to link and hit apply. And now you've created a hyperlink. And we click on it, it'll open up the website for us. Another option for creating a link, you don't have to type what you want and highlight it. You could just say, okay, I want to insert a link here in the document, so I'm going to come up to the link, and then I'm going to insert the text I want to show up on my screen right there. Then I'm going to paste in the website, hit apply, and it'll create it for you. So 2 different ways you can approach it. There is more functionality, like I said, to that little chain link. You can also use it in creating bookmark links, and it relates to the way a table of contents functions. And we'll go over that at a different section of the video. There'll be a section on bookmarking that you'll want to look at, and a section on the table of contents that you'll want to look at. That basically allows you to create links within the document. So instead of linking to a website, I can link to a word I can link to a specific word in a document or a specific page in a document, etc. And so I can bounce around my document, which is really convenient, depending on what you're doing. So this next little box isn't real easy to decipher just based on the picture, but if you hover your mouse over it, it says add a comment. And so what you want to do with that this is a great tool to use with your kids or with other adults. You share a document with them, and when you go to share that document, if you click on advanced, basically, so if you're going to share the document with somebody, the key thing is you're always going to see this pencil. That means editing privileges have been granted to this person. You can have it just say can comment, right? So the person you're sharing with can comment only. And so if you're doing work with kids in writing class and they're writing in Google Documents, you can have them share their work that they're doing with other students, making sure that they are sharing with the other students, but making sure that student can only comment. You can have them share that work with the other student, and the other student can open up the document and start highlighting things as they peer edit, and they can hit this little button and they can add a comment. And then what it will do is in the document, it will highlight it yellow like that so that the student knows that there's a comment about that section of writing, and that comment will appear over here. So if I click on where that's highlighted, it'll pop that comment out like that. You just see that right there. And once the student has either dismissed the comment or made the changes that they felt were necessary, they can resolve the comment. Or they can, another option they have is that they can reply to the comment, and they can kind of have a conversation with either the peer editor or the teacher. That's another thing I've seen some people do in other schools as working in is the kids would share their documents with the teacher and give the teacher commenting privileges, and then the teacher, as the student's working on it, can even go in and start commenting on the work that's already been done. So if the student's on like page 2 or 3, the student can continue writing down below while the teacher comments on page 1. So really cool tool that can be utilized with your students. And these next 4 boxes are just basically they're all on text alignment and position. So this is basically centering, left, right, justified. And those are pretty common. I don't feel the need to go into detail on those. And the next one is line spacing. So you can single, double, 1.5 space, add space before or after a paragraph, things like that. The next 2 boxes are both bullets. The first box, again, if you click the little hyphen next to this, so these are numbered bullets. If you click this little box, you have options of what that will look like. So if when you create a bullet and then you go down a line and hit tab, this one will create a lowercase a as your indented bullet. This one will use Roman numerals with capital letters as your indents, and so you can pick the style that you want. The next bullet is on shapes, different shapes if you prefer those, and again, different styles that you can pick from. And a really helpful button that I have discovered are these 2 buttons here. These are the indent buttons. Sometimes if a piece of text is in the wrong spot or hitting the enter button's not working or whatever, you can use this and it basically tabs for you. forwards and backwards. So that can be really helpful at times. And then this little doodad here clears any and all formatting that has been done and brings everything back to default. So you can see that I had this at size 14, bold, underlined. I click the clear formatting and it brings it back down to the standard 11 font, no bold, no underline, nothing. So that's that button. The last two buttons over here we'll talk about briefly. So right now I am in editing mode, and so this is where you can change the mode that you're in. So in editing mode, I can do anything I want to the document, and I can edit it. And there are some limitations, not limitations, but some differences that you'll see with editing mode. So for example, before we talked about creating a link. And a lot of you have probably run into this throughout the district, is when you go to click on a link, if you're in editing mode, this thing pops up. It doesn't just open up the link, and then you have to click on the website to open up the link. If, however, you are in viewing mode, so it's acting like so now you have no editing privileges at this point in this mode. Now if I click on the link, it'll just open it up, because it's treating me as though I am a guest of the document and I am not an editor of the document. The other mode I don't have a lot of experience with, but I can show you what it does, is this is called suggesting mode. Edits become suggestions. This is kind of a neat mode I haven't utilized much, but should probably utilize more. So if I start making edits, it's going to show me who edited the that part of the document, which is really nice. So if you have multiple people working on the document, you can see who made the changes, and it also very clearly outlines what those changes were. And it over here gives you a little description of what happened. So if I start deleting something, it's going to tell me that this was deleted. If I start adding something, it's going to tell me that that was added. And then as the owner of the document, I can go in to each of these suggestions and I can click on it. It's going to bring that suggestion forward, and I can either approve or deny that suggestion. So if I think that suggestion was awful, I can delete it. It'll take it away. It'll revert it. If I like it, I can keep it, and it will keep the suggestion. So in that case, the last one I had that I chose to keep, I chose to keep the deletion. So it actually, instead of showing the striked out letters, it deleted them for me. So it's really kind of a neat mode that I probably have not utilized enough myself. Over here on the right side, this is the hide menus. If you're looking at a note sheet or taking notes in something, and you're someone who likes to have as much space as you possibly can have, that's where this little button comes in. You click these double arrows up, and it's going to take away, it's going to leave your formatting bar, but it's going to take away all the menus and the title and all that extra space up there that you probably don't need if you're just following notes in a meeting or something. Creates fewer distractions for you. It doesn't take away these double arrows though, so you just click these double arrows to bring that stuff back. So that's all there is up here in the toolbar. So in the next section of the video, we'll be just briefly going over what is within all of these different menus up here. And we'll also be talking about these two little buttons here and what do they do and how to change your title. So the next section will be on the menus, a brief overview of the menus. So thanks for watching this section. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.